Urrutia. There's almost like a Gaztelu-Urrutia. Oh, because of the double R. Yeah, Gaztelu-Urrutia.
Gaztelu-Urrutia.
All right. That's all right.
Gaztelu-Urrutia.
Gaztelu-Urrutia. Yeah, Gaztelu-Urrutia. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Neon Valley Media Club. This is the show.
Hey, everybody.
What? Hold on! Don't interrupt me now. I'm on a roll here.
I got excited to say hi. I'm sorry.
I'm feeling like a hot little sausage link, and I'm on a roll right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, I lost my train of thought. God damn it! You know what? This is the show where one of us recommends a movie or album or TV show to the other person, and we watch it and give our thoughts on it. Usually, it's something we've never seen before. You should get in on that joy. What? Get in on that joy?
I told you, you're making up phrases.
That should be our new tagline. Neon Valley Media Club. Get in on that joy.
Get in on that joy. Workshop that. Yeah, I like it. That's the thing.
Yes.
Put it on the hat.
So last week you recommended The Platform 2 by Galder Gaztelu-Urrutia. God damn it, I'm sorry, man. I tried my best.
I'm proud of you. You did a great job.
I tried. I had fumbled a little bit in the third quarter.
You
in the third
tried.
quarter. I think like first and second half, like it was good. Third quarter, bad. Fourth quarter, I followed through. But this is the follow-up to the Netflix kind of cult classic, The Platform, which seemed to kind of garner a lot of popularity after it came out.
Yeah.
It was a Spanish horror movie with a lot of philosophical ideals underneath it, you know, kind of thriller.
Very metaphor heavy, very symbolic. Yeah.
Yes. We do have a review of the first Platform. So if you would like to see that, check out our older reviews that will be on there. I'm not sure if there's a video version of that one. I'm not sure if we were doing video yet.
Oh, yeah.
There might only be audio, but still, you can listen to that. Check that out.
We have different eras.
We do. This is our video.
First season, no video. Second season, video. Third season, VR?
To be seen, yeah. AR, augmented reality. We have people come in with us.
BR, battle rifle from Halo 3.
Bro. PR? We just kind of like, it's like a battle rifle, but instead of bullets, it like P comes out of it.
DDR.
It's like a BR, but instead of the bullets, two dicks come out of it. Yeah, I get what you're coming out of.
Dance Revolution.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. My bad.
Not the double dick. Anyways.
The double dick? Sorry.
The DDR.
All right. But yes, we have an old review. If you want to check it out, you can watch that one. But this one, it's the second one. So, you know, what we're going to do is we're going to give our initial review, as we always do, our initial rating, I should say. And we'll see if it changes after a little bit of a conversation. So, Mitchell, our initial ratings for the Platform 2 are 3, 2, 1. 3 out of 10. All right.
Yeah, so it's funny because Rotten Tomatoes has this at 33%. So 3 out of 10.
Okay. All right. I was gonna go lower. To be honest, I don't. The more I think about this movie, the lower I want to go.
Here's the thing, right?
Go ahead.
No, I think I'm actually more agreeing with you because I was trying to watch a lot of videos to get a better understanding, clarity, and I did get clarity on things. But there was one video that I think really put it well, where it's like a movie of thirds. Like a third of it, like you have something, right? I like the idea that when it's starting off, well, we're back in this place. Now there's like a system of rules, because the one thing this movie really great is it pitches itself and you think until like maybe like 50-60% of the movie that this is a sequel. This is a prequel.
Mm.
And I did like that twist because I felt like the way that they did it, the idea that, we're thinking that this Messiah that they're talking about was our main character from the last story, but he comes in after this entire system is dismantled. Like, I kind of like that being a twist. I think, though, that, like, once you get to, like, again, like the first third, second, and third, you start to get, like, so many different... I'm not a math person. You get to, like, so many different, like, branch offs of where the movie's going, where, okay, now there's almost like this religious aspect to it. Because I thought what they were kind of doing with the metaphors of using the kids going down like the pyramid, I thought that was clever to say, okay, when everybody gets their turn, the system is at peace. Mm-hmm. Everyone is enjoying it. But as soon as people start cramming over each other, it's like nobody's actually getting to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then the movie did a weird thing where it kept just like just jumping in terms of what it was giving you. And I don't like that you kind of lost the intimacy of the main character's stories, which you thought was going to be two, really becomes one, because they just keep giving you new characters.
Yeah.
And then they die.
Yeah. There's never a main character. I guess there is. There is. It's the woman, obviously, the
but
one.
But you think
like,
there's going to be other
woman.
like other people that are going to continue that story, but it's like only for a little bit, and then you get a new character that joins her, and then they're gone. Yeah. And
but for the first 20 minutes, it wasn't even her. It was the bald Italian guy. Italian, maybe? I'm not sure.
His name... Oh, it threw me off because the picture of like the actor had hair on it, so I was like, "That's not him." Zamietan.
Okay.
Z.
I see. Okay.
Mr. Z.
Mr. Z. Yeah, he was kind of introduced as our main character at the beginning. There seems to be like a mysterious past about him. We already know that people who are put into this pit are either like criminals looking for redemption, or they're just people who have like volunteered to
because they're going to get something out of it. Like in the last movie, I think somebody was going to get his college degree, which I'm like,
whatever that means. So they're. I thought
they fumbled his character so bad.
Yeah, no, they fumbled brother. They fumbled a lot in this movie, in my opinion. Because I didn't necessarily love the first one, but I appreciated what they were doing. And I liked the vibe. I liked the set. I liked the acting. I even remember giving credit to the kind of parallels between Don Quixote and the main character's journey. And there's something there that I think in the first one that I was like, yeah, this is like a 6 out of 10. I think it's pretty good, but it's a little bit shallow. They don't quite know what they're trying to say. Or at least if they know, they're not conveying it well enough. This one felt like that to the nth degree. It's like if I thought the last movie was a shallow pool, this is like 3 puddles that you like step into with each foot as you walk down the road. Like you don't get a sense of anything they're trying to say. You start the movie off with a vague sense of like a French Revolution. No, I don't even say vague. A very clear, obvious sense of French Revolution versus this pit, because you have a very obvious French guy who's like, "Viva la pit." And it's like, all right, like, come on. We could have made this a little more vague, I guess, but they set up things that I feel like the first movie didn't even necessarily make clear, but they try to make it like, oh, this is canon now. Like, there's cannibals in the pit, like the very bottom of the pit. They try to make it seem like very obvious that like, yeah, there's like like crazy humanoid cannibals down there. But like I didn't really get that vibe from the first movie, and I was just like, is this what's setting up it's a prequel, or is this what's, you know what I mean?
So I don't think they were cannibals. I think the idea is that once you get to the bottom of the pit, like for both the main character in the last one, Goreng, and the girl in this one, Perempuan, I think it's the like analogy that they've died, that they reached the bottom. That is them letting go, because the second one definitely was more focused about kind of keeping yourself prisoner.
Wait, you're saying in the first, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you're saying in the first one that when you reach the bottom, you've died? Like that's the metaphor?
Like I think when Goreng reached the bottom,
yes,
and he gets off the platform and the other guy was just like, hey, you can't go with him. I think that the analogy is like, you made it to the bottom, you were willing to sacrifice yourself so that kid could have another chance.
Yeah.
And in the second movie, I think the focus, because the Perempuan, she mentions that there was a boy who got killed. It was her boyfriend's son, because she chose not to have safety barriers around her very dangerous art installation. And in the very end of this movie, she gets the opportunity to redeem herself by going down to the bottom, sending him back up. And I think it was more of it's more of just acknowledging how many people have died there, versus these are all people who are alive and she has just joined them. I think that was saying that she died as well. Instead of saving herself, she decided to save the kid this time around, which is what she wanted.
Well, you're talking about the end of the movie, right? I'm not talking about the end of the movie. I'm saying that like early on in the movie, they make a kind of spoilers, I guess, but for you talking about the end and stuff, whatever, it's too late. But no, I think like, well, no, what I was trying to say is that there's a part early in the movie when they say like when bodies end up at the bottom black pit, they show this imagery of all these people like running towards the bodies as if they're gonna like eat them. And it's kind of like this take of like the people down there are like monsters. Do you know the part I'm talking about where it's like
it's one of those, I don't know if some of those are again meant to be metaphorical about like at the very bottom, it's so bad that you're just clamoring for anything that comes to you, any scrap. Because again, this movie does a lot of cutting to scenes. Again, like the kids on the pyramid, that makes sense as you kind of get the context clues of, okay, when people follow the system, it works. When it doesn't. But there's nothing ever that will imagery. Overtly tell you that. And sometimes the timing feels like it's just thrown in between. No,
I actually do think that the children playground allegory imagery is pretty good. Like I like how it starts the movie with the imagery of them working together. And then that's not bad. Almost literally everything else between it just does not work for me at all. And I think that the metaphors are so ham-fisted, and that like I can't even, like, even with the idea of the bottom being like a metaphor for like death and like, or like fully letting yourself go, things like I don't think the movie makes that clear enough for me to feel like I can even like relate to that message. So it's like it does, and there's also no clues to necessarily make me feel that way, because they still show them interact with the people at the bottom, and then they also send up the children. So we know that somebody or something sent up the children that then starts the cycle of this pit that happens, that shows at the end, where it's like, that it's almost kind of like I get that's what's annoying, is like I get the metaphor that they're trying to say. They're trying to say that we have this cycle of like, oh, there's like a dictatorship or control, right? And then there's a revolution that happens, and then there's a realization that both of these things are actually, contradictory to what they're trying to solve. What you really want is peace, and the message of peace is a child, and then the child comes up, but when the child comes up, the cycle repeats, and we just go back into and it's trying to make it, because that's like what humanity has done, because that's what we've done. And like, I get what they're trying to say, but it's just so like boring and not interesting throughout. The first one was kind of interesting. I like what the first one did in a sense. It did keep me somewhat engaged. But the second one, I don't know. Like, okay, should we get into some like specific scenes? Because we've been talking about a lot of vague stuff.
The only other thing before we get to specific scenes that even I could not figure out. They mention a drowning dog. You have to get the artwork of the drowning dog. And so she finds the artwork of the drowning dog, and then she decides to eat the artwork, and it had a poison in it that would make it look like she was dead, even though she wasn't. And then when she woke up, all the gravity was turned off, and
then like, she smashed her head 3 times.
Which definitely gonna die if you do that, because that's how force and are short. Yeah. But what it almost made me wish that they did was make you realize this is happening in a space station. Like if you're gonna do it, that'd be fun.
That would have been fun.
Like okay, take that next step, and that's how you're able to get the platform
so
up. Like there's so many cool ways you can go about it and be like, okay, these are colonies that were sent out into space, and they're running experiments because they want to see how it's like. There's
just go off the rails. Yeah, just fucking, if you're already doing weird shit like this, like what, like anti-gravity, fucking Because
at that point I'm like, oh. Okay, so what is...
Because that was not established in the first movies, right? No, I don't remember any...
There was nothing about, like, the floating or people setting it up. Like, obviously, people are setting it up. Obviously, they had to have a way or method of... But, like, if you're gonna make that end third, that so much shit, give me something bigger to work with. Like, yes, this is a more sci-fi movie this time around. The first one was just within the containment. The second one is showing you why the fuck they're in the containment. And this one just, there was so many things where I was like, why did like those 3 or 4 different things happening? It felt like almost at times this was more about the brutality piece, and just being a little bit more graphic, because this would.
But I don't even think it succeeded in doing that, because my favorite part of the platform, the original one, the first one, was when they do the descent and they're trying to convince people like, hey, come down with us or we're beating the fuck out of you. And there's like a really graphic, gruesome scene of them either agreeing or fighting. And they never had that moment in this movie. It felt like the whole movie was trying to be that moment, and by doing that, you never had anything special. It's just like, oh, you just keep beating the shit out of people. You just keep doing, like, there's certain things they set up in the beginning that I do like, where I like how they're setting up a system where if you ordered something, that's the thing you eat, and then no one else can eat that. And then if everyone agrees to this, we'll all be cool, And but what sucks about that is that it kind of inherently voids the message of the first movie. Because the message of the first movie was the idea that even though, yes, all these people picked the foods that they had, the idea was that as it came down, the upper class were allowed to have more as the lower class had less. And this movie kind of gives the idea that no, we're all like inherently eating each other. Like we're all fighting each other, instead of the fact that the upper, and it's like, that's not, I don't know. It just doesn't really make sense. Like when I try to think of the morals of each of these movies, I'm like, the first movie was talking about like classism, but in the second movie, it's more talking about how interpersonal relationships cause turmoil and like racism and religious and like things like that. You know, like it's, I don't know.
I think it's because they try to add so many different elements to it, where again, there's like this almost religious cult, when the way they keep talking about a messiah and people are following it like fanatically. But then you have the other people that are like, no, we're the barbarians. We want to just live and we should be able to have it. And I think the actual idea, because Prempwan being like the main character that made it through a majority of the story, because it was so much about her not being able to release herself of the guilt she felt about that kid's death, and the one thing she kept coming back to was like, I wish I could have saved him instead. And then at the end, when she either could have tried to escape, which was her goal, or save the kid, she chose to save the kid. Like, I think that was so loosely conveyed in this, that they threw so many of these other elements out. You're like, well, okay, so that's what the story is about, and entirely loses the whole point of her story. Like, it felt like she was just almost like the narrator that is going through, and you're seeing through her eyes how everything is unfolding.
Yeah. And she wasn't likable either. Like she wasn't a character you actually wanted to like root for. She kept doing things that were actively like she would like. I hated at near the beginning when they're both like, okay, we need to go down, even though we're told that the rules of the system are that if you're 2 floors above or 3 floors above or whatever, you shouldn't get involved. They're like, no, we need to do this. They go down, and the first thing they do when they're approached with any violence is just scream and cry. And I don't know if that's like a metaphor. I don't know if they're trying to like say something.
Dude, there was like
that's so frustrating.
And one of them died, and he gets like it. Yeah, I didn't like all the decisions that were made, and
they don't serve the story, and they don't serve the characters, and they don't help us relate to anything.
And then with Mr. Z, like, okay, I loved that they set him up to be, this really angry guy. But you start to notice as the story goes on, it's all a show. He's actually like a scaredy cat, terrified. He's just putting on a big front to keep. I was like, okay, I can buy that story.
Yeah.
The idea that, okay, he's this math like genius. I was like, okay, so now he's like a really smart guy that doesn't look like maybe he, okay, I like this. And then they get into like this weird.
Like, I hope you're saying what I'm. I hope
because -1 is an irrational number or an unreal
it's an imaginary number. Yeah,
it's an imaginary number. But it's like that's just like what we use as a concept to define that. It's not like an actual thing that exists. So I'm like, his entire character story just came down to that. I was like, God, just because if he had like
no, dude, I actually literally have a note word for word. I said, I don't necessarily hate the sentiment of having a mathematician feel scorned by logic because imaginary numbers exist, right? But at its core, it's silly. Because, like, how did he dedicate his life to mathematics but never came across an imaginary number before whatever amount of time it took him to come across it? You know what I mean?
You learned about square roots in, like, 6th, 7th grade.
Yeah, and then you ask, what's the square root of 0 or 1? And they're like, oh,
it's not a real number.
Yeah, and it's exist. Like, what? Like, dude, he would have learned that in 3rd grade and then not
If you dedicate your life to math,
Dude, I'm so glad you mentioned that because that's one of my least favorite scenes, especially him like sprawling it on the wall. Dude, I got number 23 flashbacks. Like Jim Carrey fucking.
That was I was gonna say that was also like my least favorite scene from that, just because again, for someone to dedicate their life to something, it shows that there wasn't research done into that. Because to your point, it could have been a really cool concept, but the logic that they use to explain it doesn't make sense. And then he's also just like entirely shit all the way around, apparently. So
yeah. Well, the movie halfway through completely kind of like abandoned this idea of being like it wanted to become a Marvel movie that shouts out its predecessor, right? It's like, hey, do you remember this character? Yep. Hey, do you remember this guy? Remember the religious guy with the rope that was trying to climb up? Remember that guy from the first movie? He's here. Remember the Obvio? He says the line. He says, Obvio. Yeah. And everyone claps and everyone goes, what the fuck? This is the platform, dude. Know your lane. This is what the fuck are you doing? Do not make a Marvel moment out of your stupid philosophical horror movie. Don't do it. What are you doing? This frustrated. I have the note. I said, I'm much more interested in Bobby, this Jesus-like character. I just think this movie can't decide if it wants to be a wild Mad Max-style film set in the pit or a serious metaphorical take on socialism and government/religious control. Also, now it's turning into a Marvel movie prequel.
Yeah, again, they try to throw so many elements in there, and they didn't fit cohesively with each other. The last one was a lot more focused on the dialect between characters, the situation that they were in, and you spent a lot more time on each floor and trying to survive it. Where this is, it just kept throwing you new concepts before fully explaining. And still, what the fuck with the painting of the dog? I don't. How did she know?
I think she painted it, right? Wasn't it her painting or someone she knew that painted it? Because there was the flashback to where like she had painted or like knew about the painting.
That's the thing. I remember her knowing about the painting, but again, they throw so much at you.
No, yeah, no, it's like a video game, like, and not in a bad way. Like, I think video game stories can be good, but this feels like a video game where it's just like, you need to go get the painting so that you can put it in your mouth so that when you can pretend to die so that when the soldiers come to find you, they won't. It's like, that's a video game plot. Like, that's something that I wouldn't question. It's like, oh, yeah.
We drug the painting. All right, sure. Yeah, it's a video game.
Or it's like whatever lead-based painting, I guess, slows your heart rate. I mean, like, maybe there is a scientific reason. You know, I'm not going to deny that. Maybe there is something.
Why is it in that specific painting? And how did she know? And
yeah, and also the idea of the child playground scenario that is completely destroyed, in my opinion, as a metaphor. When they seem to, like, their whole idea is that they take the greediest child or the child that wins, quote unquote, and then bring them to the very bottom of the pit. So it's like, is this a metaphor for a system that like creates a situation in which the children like have to choose for themselves, and then one of them decides to take power, and then they pull that child and then put them into a prison 333 levels below? Like, what are they trying to say? What does that mean? What the fuck? Why?
Bro, if it was aliens that were experimenting on humans, it could make way more fucking sense.
Dude, it makes no sense. I don't want to.
And well, here, I think you're missing a key piece of information.
Go ahead.
So I don't know if you remember the girl Imoguri from the last movie that was going down in the pit to try to find the little kid.
Yes.
She was like this one.
Of course.
She is the one.
It's almost Thanksgiving. Let's fucking chill with that word, dude. Bleep that, Joseph. Bleep that.
She is the one that walks the kid that wins the top of the pyramid and escorts him.
Oh, I didn't notice.
So now that you have that information, I'm sure.
No, I don't care.
Clarifies the situation.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. If anything, I'm more confused.
No, exactly. I 100% the same. Like when I found that out, I was like, okay, but why?
like if you're making a movie that's saying that like capitalism creates a system in which you're forced to bend the rules to benefit yourself, but when you do that, you're reprimanded by the same systems that told you to do that. I guess? Right? I guess? Like that's... I'm really reaching, but that's the most I can get out of it. It's like...
This just went a lot of different directions. And it's funny because like watching it and not thinking anything about like the story or the message, I'm like, okay, this is a good movie. But this movie is about the story and the message.
Yeah. No,
that's an issue.
Yeah, no, like the first movie balanced this idea of having a metaphorical, message about government, socialism, classism, all this stuff, while also having an interesting character story that also had some fun gore and action and things like that. And not to say that this movie didn't have some fun gore. It did have some fun action scenes, but it was almost like they had no impact. I didn't care about any of the people that were being exploded or ripped apart. I didn't give a fuck.
I knew about it for like 5 to 10 minutes before they killed them off.
Yeah, I don't care. So like, it means nothing. And yeah, I was kind of left with just a feeling of like, man, I'm thinking nothing more about the world. If anything, I'm thinking less. I hate the filming. There's no interesting shot. There's no creative direction. There's nothing. There's no lighting choices that I'm like, whoa, that's a creative light. Because even in the first movie, when they snap between the green and red lighting or whatever it is, where it's like, that was a creative lighting choice and the creative this had nothing.
The only shot that I was like, it looks interesting, was when you see like the floating pillar with like the green lights. But again, it's like, but it's just because it looked kind of cool and it had nothing to do with its impact on the story, because all it did was make the story like more confusing. Like, why the fuck is that shit floating?
Yeah,
like, because I guess it makes sense, but
because with the anti-gravity stuff, it honestly feels like they asked the question after making the first movie. They went, well, how do they move the people from each level?
Which why not just use the platform then? Because when they made the first movie, that didn't matter, because that wasn't part. You know what I mean? Like, and that makes sense because when you're writing a story, like as a creative, you don't think about the inner workings of certain things if they feed the narrative, where it's like, it doesn't matter how the people get to each level when they reset every month, because the point is they reset every month. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter how they fucking do it. But this movie felt the need to go, well, how? And how can we use that to... And then they went, well, what if there's an anti-gravity thing? And it you didn't need to do that. It fucking ruined everything. Just like, it has nothing to do with your story. It has nothing to do with the characters. It bothered me. 2 out of 10. I'm sorry. I'm lowering it. Is that what you're finishing on?
Yeah. This is a 1 star. I genuinely will never remember or want to watch this movie again.
I'm between 4 and 5 stars right now, to be honest.
Stars?
Or no, out of 10. Out of 10.
Oh.
Yeah, not stars.
Oh.
Out of 10.
Oh god, that scared me.
Because again, like, I didn't hate it while watching it, but I feel
I would rather watch Southland Tales. I would rather load up Southland Tales than ever watch this again.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this a 5 then, because no, I'm gonna give it a 4, because it did not explain enough for me to feel like I got the same thing that I got out of the first one. Yeah, I'm gonna say 4 out of 10.
Yeah,
I liked it. I'm giving it a 4 out of 10, and I liked it. But even I can acknowledge, like, this movie definitely failed in a lot.
Well, there
of
you go.
areas
It's on Letterboxd. If you make a Letterboxd account, which you should, because I don't think you have yet. But what you can do is you can review movies with like a star rating, but then you can also like them or dislike them. So you can give it like a 5-star, but give it a dislike, or you can give it a 1 star and give it a like. So like,
yeah, I think 4 stars and a like.
Exactly. So for me, it's like Southland Tales is like a 1.5 star, but I give it a like. This is genuinely just 1 star and no like. Like because it tries so hard. It tries so hard to make me think about religion and politics and all this, and it doesn't do anything. At least Southland Tales actually kind of made me think a little bit about capitalism. So I'll give it that compared to this. But yeah, no, it's bad. Bad. They're all bad.
There you have it, folks. That is our review and rating of The Platform 2. The platforming.
The platforming. You're welcome. All right. It is my turn to suggest something. Don't rub your hands. It's my turn to rub my hands.
I just realized we were both going
I'm just kidding. All right. We are only about a week or so away, so I think this will be fitting. I want to watch Eli Roth's Thanksgiving, because I know you haven't seen it.
Nope, I have not. Okay, Eli Roth's Thanksgiving.
You can just look up Thanksgiving movie. I'm sure it'll pop up.
Now, I will say this. I am familiar with his work, so I have a hunch, and I'm also happy because it means my wife will definitely watch this.
Oh, she'll love it.
Or die trying. Happy Thanksgiving, pilgrims.
You want to watch the trailer while live on stream on podcast?
You know
Do you want to watch it live on stream right now?
I'm watching it right now.
Do it.
I'm going to the UE2B. I typed in thank you because I had started to put Thanksgiving, but I said YouTube. So my brain typed out thank you as one word.
All right, just let me know which video you're going to watch. We're going to watch it at the same time.
Okay. Thanksgiving Eli Roth trailer.
All right, you didn't have to type it.
Okay, so... Oh, that's... I'm just like... They've shown a lot of graphic stuff already in the trailer. I'm like, damn, what are they doing in this movie then?
It's not super crazy, but it is pretty crazy. They do some gore stuff.
But again, it's Eli Roth, so I'm not surprised. Yeah, I saw maybe not the full trailer, but I've seen a little bit of this trailer before for sure. Oh, then. You know, it's funny. When I was a kid, I don't remember if it was an episode or a movie, but it was the Power Rangers, and they all get put into a pizza oven and get turned into a pizza by a villain. And it disturbed me as a kid for a little bit. I don't know why.
That's terrifying, dude. I hate that. I don't like that.
And he's standing over them, I don't remember. He was I can't wait to eat you. Ah. And they're all just pizza slices, oh my God, the help. And I was just,
God.
Dude, I was this is not. Hold on. Now I need to find Power Rangers pizza scene because now I need to see you react to that.
Dude, are you sure you didn't just have a fever dream? By the way, I'm going to be up for 4 or 5 hours playing Dragon's Age Inquisition. I've already decided. I don't have to work tomorrow, so fuck it.
I do it, and I still wish I... Turbo Rangers versus Mad Mike. This is the one. Oh, even the villain in this was creepy. Okay. No fucking way. They did not say that. Watch the episode. Once you hit 15 seconds, I know you'll have heard it.
Once I hit 15 seconds. All right, USAA. All right, I don't want to subscribe. Okay, the fucking Windows Movie Maker intro. We're here to toss your salad?
Bro, they said that. I just realized. I don't know how the fuck they got away with that. Can we please clip that? Because I think people need to know. That wasn't even why I'm showing you this episode. This is way before the part I was even going to show you.
The comments are turned off.
I fucking wonder why. Bro, I could not believe that a episode of Power Rangers, they straight up said,
"Oh my god, I'm gonna toss your salad."
Bro, the part that I wanted you to see starts at about a minute 35.
I gotcha. He's very racist.
Also, yeah.
Well, we can't be racist towards Italians because they're white. I forgot. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Oh, my God. They're bubbling.
Bro, as a kid, like this, like it disturbed me. Like it freaked me out as a kid to watch this. And then like, dude, at 3:25, he's like standing over them with a fork and knife. Bro, it's so uncomfortable.
You again? Oh my god. Oh no. He's gonna get hit by the car. He got hit by the car. Oh my god. No, another car. There's another car. He got hit by another car.
Bro, tell me this isn't like an incredibly disturbing.
Dude, I think what made it most disturbing is that they showed like a real bubbling pizza with sauce, like in between certain shots. So like the imagery of that. What the fuck? I didn't like that. Oh. Whoops.
What is Reddit saying about this episode? Because yeah, let's talk about it. I don't know. They're just going off of the series. But dude, that episode dude, as a child freaked me out. As an adult, I'm freaked out for other reasons.
You know, as a little tangent at the end here, for people who have been willing to make it through this episode for so long, I had to defend furries at my work the other day. Well, like, listen.
For real friends.
We've been to festivals and conventions and shit like that, right? And I've met furries, and from who I've met, they're very cool, genuine, chill people who just, like...
That's a preference.
Yeah, the same way people love anime, or they just love anthropomorphic animals. The people who think that they intrinsically want to fuck them is not true. Like that's like that. Like yes, there is a group of people out there who, yeah, of course.
There's
but like
people that wants to fuck everybody.
Dude, the same reason that there's fans of anime, they want to fuck those anime characters. There's a small percentage that, yes, like that's a thing, of course. So it's like, that's in everything. So I was trying to make this, like, because all of my coworkers, like I had 2 or 3 who I was talking to, and they were just like, ew, those weird fucks. Like, I would never, like, ew, furries, they're so fucking gross, those bestiality, motherfucker. And I was just like, well, they don't want to fuck animals. Like,
yeah, that's literally called bestiality. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
They like to dress up. Do you like to wear sexy doctor nurse outfits? I don't think you have a fucking medical degree. Like,
yeah. Well, no, my favorite part is that we have this whole conversation and they're making fun of me because I'm trying to just kind of offhandedly just defend. I'm like, hey, yo, like, furries are chill. It's fine. You know, whatever. It's just a community.
yeah.
They start going up, but then the one girl goes, oh, you know, like Na'vi from Avatar? She was like, yeah, I kind of get it. I might fuck one of them. You know, like it kind of, and I was like, you cannot make fun of furries and then also be like, no, I kind of get it when it comes to Avatar
that tail
characters.
Thing with the cat eyes and the blue lizard skin.
No, just because you're a scaly doesn't mean you're not a furry. Okay.
No, bro. Birdies, don't even get me started.
Again. All right. Anyway, I'm sure somebody enjoyed that at the end of this episode. All right. Did I suggest our movie? Yes, you've already looked it up and you watched the trailer. So if you don't want to be spoiled for Thanksgiving, Eli Roth's Thanksgiving, make sure to watch that before next week's episode. Mitchell, do you have anything you want to plug or push before we leave here today?
Thank you for reminding me. The power cord came out, so I plugged that back in. So we're all plugged.